like neurology is so advanced right now. It's growing in all these places. Like I believe China and Sweden, they already have theories. He got took out because this movie, right? At the end of like he actually filmed. So the theory is he actually filmed 24 extra minutes. The Messi broadcast revenue theory, which is like FIFA needs Argentina and Messi to gain or to get money from tournament VIP seats from all this merchandise, Messi T-shirts and all this stuff, because they couldn't afford losing Argentina so early in the knockouts. Man, everybody's talking about the World Cup, and at this point, it's so good, it's bad. You know what I mean? Because I actually watched. Like I'm like a football fan for about like let's say 12 years now, and man, that was the most rigged match I've ever seen. Argentina versus Egypt. If you know what I'm talking about, if you watched it, like this may be the most fixed match of all time, man. Like even to the point where like the Egypt players admitted like they were like scripting this whole tournament for Messi to win and for Argentina to make it to the finals. And I have to agree with them, man. Anyways, welcome back to the First Round Podcast with me, your boy, your host JOSH. You know what it stands for. Man, I'm just excited for this episode, but I don't know why because I have like a lot to talk about. Like in today's episode, like certainly about that game because at this point they're not even beating the allegations, man. Clearly, they're doing this thing for Messi and for Argentina because bro, I watched that whole match, and while I'm watching it and seeing this, this, and seeing what is going on, I was like, dang, they're really trying to do this for Messi, ain't it? What this actually connects to is like the Messi broadcast revenue theory, which is like FIFA needs Argentina and Messi to gain or to get money from tournament VIP seats from all this merchandise, Messi T-shirts and all this stuff, because they couldn't afford losing Argentina so early in the knockouts. You know what I mean? Because when you have Argentina, I mean you have Messi, probably the most famous player of all time. Even though I'm a Ronaldo fan, I'll say it. This guy's the most famous player of all time. Like everyone knows him. And when you lose such a guy, you lose money because you're not getting your stadium's full. You're not getting all these t-shirts sold out. You're not getting all these broadcasting revenues. Like every TV channel wants to like broadcast the Argentina games. If you noticed, but the theory is that when Messi actually missed the penalty, and so if he scored like that would like take a lot of pressure from the referee because when he couldn't score, when they couldn't get the lead like normal, like when they couldn't get the lead like normal, they actually the the pressure not in the pitch but out of the pitch by some people, like I'm just gonna say some like former FIFA president. He he got pressure when Messi didn't score the penalty, so they had to like ref the game in a way where Argentina could have the advantage. You know what I mean? Because when you can look at the videos, man, it's everywhere now. Like everyone is talking about this. Where Egypt scored their disallowed goal from an insane counter attack that maybe if you ask AI right to describe the counter attack, it would say it's masterclass, man. That was a masterclass counter attack from Egypt, and that was the disallowed goal. When Egypt scored that, right, you can look at the VIP room where like the FIFA presidents like sits and all these other like people, all these other high heads in the football industry. All of them, while Egypt is doing this counter attack. Like all of them started rising, like, oh, this could lead to something. Like they were excited, and when Egypt actually scored, all of them celebrated, and the FIFA president was just like this. It was just like it was generally, it was like aggravated that Egypt just scored, and they overturned the goal because of an foul that took place like probably 20 minutes before Egypt scored at the other half of the pitch, basically at their goal, at the Egypt's goal, and they just scored 20 minutes after, and they had to VAR and look like Lissandro Martinez was fouled. He wasn't even fouled because they just clipped him on his toe, like just a little stub on his toe. That that match couldn't have been more fixed at the point where literally the Egypt coach and the striker who scored the second goal, Zico, I believe is his name. They basically pointed to FIFA and saying they're rigging the tournaments to go Argentina's way because obviously because they said it too because of financial matters, because of like revenue you get from these Argentina or Messi games. You know what I mean? But wow, man! And then Messi's there crying. It's not. It's just. He's making it worse for himself at this point, really, because that match was clearly like fixed in their favor, really. And actually, like I said, put pressure on the referee, so the referee could actually help Argentina to the later stages. That's what the theory is, that they asked all these referees, okay, we don't need your help in the group stages because that's where you can lose a couple of matches, not a couple of matches, but you don't need to win all of your matches to go through. So the referees was like fair in the group stages, but when it gets to the knockouts, like probably the FIFA president told them when it gets to the knockouts, you need to help Argentina through these knockout rounds. You know what I mean? When it gets tough, like Egypt clearly won that match. They probably have had like 3 goals, and the whole like there was, I believe there was 7 yellow cards to some of the Egypt staff. Like I know one guy got a red card, the coach got a yellow card, and some of the players on the pitch actually got a yellow card to where on the Argentina side, no players got like booked. And then when you look at the clips back, when you go look at the match back, you can see there was like a lot of fouls from the Argentina side. Like everyone's pointing to the one where it actually should be penalty, where that guy fouled Salah in the box. I believe it was like also Martinez. That guy clearly fouled Salah in the box, and they don't want to do any VAR. Like even Salah knew at that point. Like he started laughing. It was like before this whole chaos, like this chaos started in like the 80th minute or like 90th minute late in the game. And when Salah saw like this match was clearly fixed, and the referee was clearly like told to make it go Argentina's way. I just shook the table. To make it go Argentina's way, he actually started laughing, and everyone's talking about it because Salah knew that now we can't do anything at this point because this match is just fixed now. And I agree, man. Like everything they do is for money these days, man. We're losing the. I guess it was exciting, like it was like definitely the most like insane game of the World Cup so far. And the theory is actually like they don't want an African country to win the World Cup. Like they just want to eliminate all these African countries. Like Morocco's playing France, I believe, like somewhere in the week. And let's see how that match goes because obviously Morocco also African country, but they more of like a up to not up to standard, but like some people like Morocco. Like I believe the the World Cup before this one, they they came to the quarters, I believe, or semis. I believe quarters. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm correct. I don't know, or correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, man, that's the theory that the Messi broadcast revenue theory. So yeah, FIFA couldn't afford to lose Argentina or Messi so early in the stage group or early in the knockout group, where keeping them in would guarantee all these sales, guaranteed tickets, guaranteed merchandise sales, like all these stuff, going. And clearly, the FIFA president is an Argentina fan. There's no doubt, because everyone jumped on their feet when Egypt scored, and this guy was sitting. He was clearly like aggravated and like almost like disappointed. Now they have to plan this whole thing so Argentina can win this match, and they didn't win it fairly. Like, I know it's a good comeback, but nah, man, clearly like they didn't deserve it. Egypt deserved to go to the quarterfinals, man, not Argentina. That's probably the most fixed match of all time. And yeah, it's crazy. Think about it. All these Messi fans, always they saying it's his last World Cup. I thought 4 years ago was his last World Cup. See, like they clearly want him to stay in this business, man, to make money for them and all this type of stuff. Anyways, man, welcome back to the First Man podcast with me, your boy JOSH. I already did an intro, but that was too fast. Normally, I like cruise into intro and like just talk about anything, and then I go into the theories and stuff. But I just had to get it out of my way. You know what I mean? I was like excited to explain that, because that's actually the most talked about thing in the World Cup right now, and it's fair how Egypt reacted, man. Like they were actually calm about this thing. Like some countries would actually go appeal and stuff, like but they just pointed out and saying that this whole tournament is rigged for Messi, for Argentina, and the officials helping Argentina to the later stages of the World Cup. And it's not even like I saw this like 4 years ago already. Like they basically, because it was supposed to be his last World Cup, they basically gave it to him. Like the theory was like they're gonna give it to Portugal, but Portugal's knocked out. And I don't know if Ronaldo is playing another World Cup, because Neymar also got knocked out. Like I believe it was last week, and he basically said like I'm done. I'm not coming. I'm done with international football. And it's kind of sad. Like yeah, man, it's really sad. I watched how he like cried on the pitch, and all his teammates like comforting comforting him, and it was sad, man. But anyways, all these big teams is getting knocked out with these big players. Like we got Salah, we got Ronaldo, we got Neymar. Don't know who's going next between Morocco and France. That I'm actually kind of excited for that game. Really, I am. Like I'm obviously watching that game. But yeah, man, welcome for the first one podcast. I got a new, like not the new setup, but I I placed this Liverpool flag behind me. I don't know if y'all can see it, but because I'm actually blocking it with my like my back, and I just taped the microphone to a stick and just place it over there in the corner so it can be directed towards me. I don't know what to do with the mic, because I like the mic, and kind of adds to a bit of a like a visual feel. You know what I mean? But let me know about if y'all like the mic setup here. Like I just taped it together, but I don't know if it's in the camera. I don't know. Um, but let me know how y'all like it. But anyways, let me jump right into the podcast. So there's a theory, right, that Neuralink is actually the mark of the beast. Obviously, that theory has been going around for a couple of couple of seconds, right? Not couple of seconds, but couple of months since he like announced it. Um, and it's a valid theory because if you go look at the Bible, the mark of the beast, the 666 is like the mark of the beast you get in your hand or on your forehead, and without it you can't buy or sell, which you basically, which means you basically need it to live. Because if you can't buy and you can't sell, you can't buy food, you can't buy accommodation and stuff, you can't sell to get money without this mark. And wow, when you actually think about it, it's kind of crazy, man. Um, because wow, because dang, it's not even. It's basically Newland is basically the mark of the beast, no doubt. I like to say no doubt after my sentences, but there's this video that actually came out, or not came out, but this video I actually found where Elon Musk's babysitter, um, asked, I believe it was his mother, if he is gonna bring the Antichrist. And you look at this video, this woman seems a bit like terrified, not terrified, but little tense, right? And
Anyway,
she's
the boy did
asking
something very dark,
if
and
he's
I
gonna
never told
present
what
the
he did.
Antichrist.
And then one day
And
I
this
asked
person she's talking
someone
to
in the
says no,
circle,
he's
Imelda,
gonna present the
Joaquin's
mark,
mother. I
which
asked
is
Imelda, I
Neuralink.
said, is he the
And
Antichrist? I was
actually,
13 years old.
like Neuralink
She
is so
didn't even
advanced
blink.
right now.
She
And
said
it's
no, but he will
growing in
present the
all
mark.
these
And when you
places.
see him do that, the
Like I believe
Antichrist will take
China
the
and
stage.
Sweden, they already have
Now here we
like these
are, 40
chips that
years
you can
later.
put in your
Boom,
hand,
that boy
where you can
is the star
scan
of the world. The boy's name then
everywhere
was
basically to
El
get
Elyon, but
access
it's
to stuff.
changed
Like
over time,
you
and
can
I see
scan
that
it to
boy
get into your
everywhere, and the
apartment.
world adores
You
him,
can
but
scan
he's
it
the
to
king of
pay
Babylon.
at like a coffee shop or anything. So it basically has all your information, your credit card, your ID, all this stuff, like your driver's license, and it's just in the chip in your hand, like right here. You just come out and like do this to the scanner, and you just get access. So wow, it's growing right now, and the Bible is actually playing out right now in real life, and like all these things that's happening right now because Elon Musk, right? Like in the video, she said like his name back then was El Elyon, which basically sounds too. There's not a normal name. If you agree with me, that's like gotta be some ancient like I don't even wanna say it, some ancient demonic thing, right? I don't want to like criticize, but anything, but I just want to speak my thoughts about that name. Like maybe I need to do some research before I say that. But when I heard the name Elyon, I don't even want to say it out loud because I don't know what's attached to it. You know what I mean? But if you deep in these things, there has to be some type of name of some ancient thing that's not like that's not good. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't want to jump into his name because his name now is Elon Musk, and this dude is probably one of the richest people in the world right now. This man has SpaceX. This man has Neuralink. This man has like Tesla and all these other companies that he's working on. And originally, he's actually from South Africa, but I believe he moved to the US. I mean, there's also a theory that Elon Musk is like one of those people that's actually a reptile or an alien, but I don't know. We don't have proof, but it could be true. But obviously, it's just a theory. But I said this on the podcast before. The story about like Robbie Williams, who was laying next to a girl, and he saw this girl's face turned, as he describes it, a reptilian face, and he was so shocked that like the shock was shown in his face. You know when like you just so deep of a shock, you in just so deep of a shock, like your face turns like pale and all that stuff. So obviously this woman saw how his face turned, and she said, "Don't worry. I'm not a reptile. Like I think I said it on some of the early episodes of the podcast. This is just episode 5, so you can still go watch it. It's not that far down. Um, but we actually moving right now, episode 5, man. Um, but one thing I've learned, right, is like always shoot when you get the feeling to shoot, because I was actually supposed to shoot this yesterday, but like like something held me up, and that day, like yesterday, I had to, like I I wanted to shoot because like I had this feeling, nah, man, I need to shoot right now because I'm just gonna like I'm in a talkative mood right now, you know what I mean? But today I'm also in like a recording mood, but not as yesterday because I always like to record, but there's some days I'm just like, nah, man, this is too much work, too much to set up and all of these things. But I'm always like proud, not proud, but yeah, proud. I'm always proud to record and excited because I love doing this, man. And I love like kind of crafting my own thing. Like you see, I got the background, I got the tape mic, and I try to be as unique as possible. But one thing I've learned from like doing YouTube for about a couple of years now, just get to the point, man. Like don't be, hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video we're gonna be doing this, and don't do that. Just get to the point and start doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like as I like sometimes I just skip the intro and I do the intro afterwards, and I just start with a story or a theory. You know what I mean? That's like to instantly attract the audience. But that's just a little tip from your boy JOSH. Anyways, so there's actually a theory which has been going on for a couple of years right now, because this video was actually like this video was back like 17, 18 years ago, 2008, at the GQ, I believe like the GQ Men's Awards or something like that, where um what's this girl's name? Megan Fox claimed that she was Zac Efron and claimed that she was a man. So in this interview, she's basically saying like she's being interviewed and she's saying her obsession is Zac Efron. And when they told her he was here, and she was like, "He's here," and she was like, "Did you know me and Zac are actually the same person?" And she was not even like trying to look like she was making a joke. She was actually dead ass serious. Since she told the interviewer, like, me and Zac Efron is actually the same person. He just puts on his wig and he just comes out here, and you all think that Zac Efron was actually me, and what? That's actually crazy, man. It's actually kind of hard to explain. She is Zac Efron and Zac Efron is her. You know what I mean? And when you look at these photos, like all these public release photos, you can actually see her. Like I don't know what this is, like your Adam's apple. Like let me just say, her throat is kind of shaped so oddly, like kind of like a man's throat. You know what I mean? And there's actually this photo where it doesn't look like Megan Fox, but it actually looks like Zac Efron because they have like the same genetics and all this stuff, like their eyes, their nose, their ears, all this stuff. And she actually also mentions Megan, not Megan, Janet, and Michael. So she actually gets that theory from, like, that's an old debunked theory. You know what I mean? That they were the same person because they really appeared in the same photos. Like they were really in the same photo standing next to each other, or they were basically never like found near each other, if that makes sense. Um, but the one we focus on, Megan Fox and Zac Efron, you can actually see, like, let me point out a picture. I just put it on the screen right now. So this picture, I'm just thinking about the picture in my head because I don't have like my phone right now. But this picture, it doesn't actually look like Megan Fox. It is Megan Fox in a way, but you can see her face has been almost like it almost looks like a mask and a wig to the point where she said like Zac Efron wears a wig and we all think it's her, but it's actually Zac Efron. Um, she also describes that as like the greatest ruse of all time, and it is if it like if we don't know, like we don't have actual proof, then it is the greatest ruse of all time. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's just like talks her mouth, like like too. She just talks too much, and she actually gave that away. Obviously, could be a joke, but we all know when celebrities make these jokes or when they lead to make these jokes, they're actually telling us the truth. So I watched this movie, Eyes Wide Shut. Like this is an old 1999 movie, and obviously this movie got a lot of like not heat, but this movie got pointed out to because it like referred and exposed the stuff that was happening at these Epstein type parties because there was like it's a masquerade basically because there's this all these celebrities and elites wearing masks in this is in the film. If you haven't watched it, Eyes Wide Shut by Stanley Kubrick, and it's basically exposing all these pedophile parties. So the theory is that he actually went attended the party because they invited him and he saw what was happening and he actually not got inspired but he, he he wanted to show the world what was happening at that time before we knew what was happening and now before we know what was happening right now in the Epstein files. So yeah, he was actually trying to expose it a long time before the Epstein files, and there's a lot of media from that time that was actually trying to expose what was happening with these Epstein files. And in this movie, there's actually a guy that looks straight up looks like Jeffrey Epstein, and it's like you can actually see him. There's also like a statue of this owl that they worship, but it's like a shadow of it in the movie. And there's this big orgy scene where they're like doing some type of ritual, and this was actually the real stuff that was happening at these parties, these Epstein type pedophile parties, and all these celebrities. So he saw what. So the director saw what was happening, and he decided he wanted to present it to the movie to the people so they can forever see it. But the theory is that wasn't the full movie. Like obviously the director died through a heart attack 4 days, I believe it's 4 days after the release. Not 4 days after the release, 4 days after they finished the movie. This man got a heart attack, and it could have been a normal heart attack because he was 70 years old. But the theory is he got took out because this movie, right? At the end of like he actually filmed. So the theory is he actually filmed 24 extra minutes to the movie where he was naming names, he was showing faces, and showing these type of blackmail rooms that Jeffrey Epstein had in his island or at his place, where he just blackmail all these children and stuff, force them to do stuff that they don't want to, and basically all these Epstein related stuff, which I'm not going to mention. So I filmed those extra 24 minutes, and when he finished with the movie, the theory is he actually yelled to the editors and the studio bosses who was like editing these movies and editing the movie basically, and he actually yelled at them, "You can't cut cut out stuff because it's my movie. Because they saw these extra 24 minutes and they saw like how exposing it was basically. It was basically showing all these celebrities, all these people who were involved, and like I said, naming names, showing faces in those extra. I just hit the mic, man. It was basically, hey, naming names, yeah, showing faces in those extra 24 minutes. And when these editors saw that, they wanted to cut that out of the movie. So yeah, he yelled at him, you can't cut that out. It's my movie. You won't do anything. You're just gonna leave it like that." So obviously, the elites were informed, and they basically took him out. He didn't die of a heart attack. I'm just gonna say it. This man didn't die of a heart attack. This man was took out by the elites, and Warner Bros. Got the movie. This man, there's a like a rumor that he actually yelled at it, like all these studio bosses, like, you can't cut it. Like he actually yelled at them too. You can't cut it. It's my movie. And these people said you can't release this. Like this wasn't like they said you can't release this. This is insane. And he was trying to expose the truth, and he was willing to give his life for it. Like even studio bosses yelled at this man. You can't put this in the movie because they knew the dangers that would would come if they put this in the movie. And he died right before the release, 1999. That was like 27 years ago. And Warner Bros. Obviously, for they released it, they cut at 24 extra minutes out of the movie, and we never got to see it disappeared. That would have basically told us everything back then if we watched it with the same intention and the same like way we watch things right now, because everything back then was exposing. If you look at the so-called, like, I believe the show was called the V show or the V series or something like that. The plot of the show is basically exposing they are on the Earth. There were reptiles invading Earth, but they were disguised as humans. That was the series' name. It's like a mini series called the V series or the V show, whatever you want to call it. This show, like they're basically exposing they are reptiles, like almost like incognito, and they're trying to secretly control the world. That's basically the plot of the movie. So yeah, reptiles dressed as humans, and they basically trying to invade Earth and do all this stuff. If you go watch it, it's kind of cool, but we all know by now because like even like because there was that time ago, there was like hella long ago, and we all know right now there are reptiles here, there are aliens here, because there was this video of this guy, right, trying to invade like Area 51, and he's basically also risking his life just for footage and content. But they actually found he videoed all these trucks coming out of Area 51, and this truck carrying a UFO, like a real dead ass UFO, and we don't know if it's a real UFO or if it's built, because we got all these scientists. We, there's so there's so little scientists right now, or so like what's the word? Sometimes I just forget these words, man, because I'm South African. I don't actually speak English, but all these there's so little scientists that can expose and show us the real way right now, because they took out all these scientists right before they released the alien files, because these scientists can point out, man, that's fake, that's not real and all that stuff. Like they're trying to fool us, which they have been doing for a couple of years right now. And it's not even hidden no more, you know what I mean? Like if you look at this new Apple commercial that they just released, I believe it's for data tracking. And when you look at this commercial, everyone noticed, everyone who watched this commercial, everyone who just saw the picture of this woman with these three guys around her, and in the background there's actually this portrait, like almost replicating them, but in like ancient times. But the three guys around this woman is actually demons. They're not trying to hide it. Like I said, I believe it was episode 2. If you want to hide something, you would do it correctly, alright? Because the elites and these people who are in control of media and stuff, they know at this point how we think, and they know at this point how we consume media and content. So they knew if they release this, like if you throw at that, you're gonna get their attention over there. You know what I mean? You're gonna get them talking about that. Just like me, I'm also falling for this. Not just y'all, me too. Like maybe some of y'all are not falling for it at all, but I hope not. So yeah, they're thinking. They know how these people think. They know how these people, like, they know all these data because we just give it to them via our phones, which is not a secret at all. Mm. So they know how we think. They know how we see stuff. They know how we talk about stuff. So if they throw it out there just like that, we talking about the Apple commercial right now, you know. But they actually, like, just like I said, they're actually probably planning something over here that we aren't even noticing. I'm just making like an example. They're probably planning something over here because we don't know because our attention is like over there now, because that's insane. That's interesting. Like, have you seen that, man? That's basically telling us everything. Well, we don't even know what's going on over here, which is crazy. Yeah, man. But don't get fooled like that, man. Like, this is not a battle with, like, we're not we're basically in a battle with him. If you think when I'm if you like on the same level as I am, but not a physical battle. We're actually fighting a psychological battle, a spiritual battle with him. You know what I mean? And through media and stuff that they control, to sports, everything that we consume, they control. But if you don't know how to use this stuff and how to be careful with this stuff, you're gonna get lost in the same in the you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. You know what I mean? And just gonna go like follow them. Like, let me actually like use this time talk about a verse of the day similar to what I just said. Ephesians, like I believe it's verse 6 from. I'm just gonna read verse 10 and verse 18. So it's basically saying we need to put on full armor of God, because our battle is not against our battle is not against flesh and blood, but it's against spiritual, like spirits in the air, spirits everywhere. You know what I mean? That's basically what it says. But you can read it on your own, or you can. Like I always do. I'll just put out the verse on the screen. But yeah, man. Our fight is not against flesh and blood, and that has been clear for a couple of years now. And we're basically in a spiritual battle with these people. And the mic is a bit bent. This tape is not holding it well together. But yeah, man. Make sure y'all be careful of what you can consume, because it like can get like hypnotizing and all this stuff. But anyways, that's a story for another day. There's this video that everyone is pointing out, where this guy stopped a basically a delivery truck, and
Please
it
stop.
was heading to
Eating that
McDonald's.
shit. Let me show y'all a little
And when he
something,
like
something,
opened it,
okay? Pay
he saw
attention.
all these frozen stuff, which he claimed like
Nuggets.
it
Look at
was
that.
like the stuff were
Look
like
at that.
foods, like
That's what's in these
the
nuggets.
burgers, the nuggets, the
I know y'all like y'all's hot and
basically all the
spicy, but
meat
look at
stuff,
that.
all the chicken stuff, and
Look,
he's
even your
claiming,
desserts, your apple
why are they
pies. Watch
getting
out,
their
man.
stuff delivered while they claim
Even your
it's
fucking
like
McGriddles,
fresh and
man.
it's fast food? Like
Look, just think
basically
about
he's
it. I'm
claiming
just trying to tell y'all, let y'all
they're
know.
supposed to make
Cause
these
y'all don't get to
stuff
see
on the
these
spot as
ingredients.
you get there, and these
Stop
stuff
eating this
shouldn't
shit,
be
okay?
frozen and delivered to them. But I don't know. But also, in McDonald's defense, I don't defend McDonald's because you all know their food or their burgers mainly are basically, I don't want to say it, but human. Uh, I don't want to say it, but basically, it's not animal meat, but that's a theory that's just going around for years now because they actually have contracts with the hospitals and all this stuff, and the hospitals can't keep all the bodies that go over there, and there are so little graves to keep to bury the bodies. That's a theory I heard. That's not my theory. Before y'all kick me, um, I just touched the mic with my nose. Um, so yeah, this guy in this video say, why are they getting this stuff delivered when they claim it's fresh? Also, in defense of McDonald's, you you have to, because you can't be making all these, you can't be making these patties on the spot and these nuggets, because these people want to be, like I said, fast food. You just want to order something, get it and go, or order something, get it and eat. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, man, I'm gonna make this patty real quick. Like that's gonna be like at least like 30 minutes. I still need to fry this thing. I still need to cook this thing and whatever. When they can actually deliver stuff pre-made answers, maybe like put it in a fryer, cook it up, and it's ready. You know what I mean? That's just in McDonald's defense. But also this commercial, I think it's an old commercial. I don't know, or maybe it's a recent commercial where this McDonald's CEO is basically eating a burger. He's taking a bite of it taking a bite of it, and when he tries to wipe his face off, like some of the stuff that's on his face with his napkin, it looks like he spits the burger back into the napkin. How, like, some say it's just a bad commercial. When you're at the point where the CEO is spitting out their own burgers, you know something is wrong, right? And just like I said, they're not getting like all their meat from animals because there's a theory there are not enough animals in the world to produce all these meats. There's not enough cows for the amount of burgers they're making. There's not enough chickens. Like, this is all theories that I heard. There's not enough chickens to make all these chicken wings and stuff. You know what I mean? Which is valid. So where do they get their meat from? Which is the obvious thing. They get it from stuff that's not animals, if I can put it that way. Um, but in their defense, from that video, you have to, like, I understand why they're delivering stuff in and importing stuff in, but if you don't, but don't claim it's fresh. You know what I mean? Because that's obviously not. It is kind of fresh, but it's not fresh because it's already pre-made. You know what I mean? But that's just a McDonald's theory, and like, obviously, like me, like you're all watching, we're just gonna continue eating McDonald's because it's still so good. You know what I mean? Um, but anyways, man, I think I'm gonna end it there, guys. Welcome to, like, I'll see y'all in the next video. Random ass first pump podcast has paused again, and like I was basically just excited for the Messi broadcast revenue theory. That I just like, but that was a bit of me. Like, there was a bit of me on in that theory. You know what I mean? Like, there was a bit of my thoughts. Like, I immediately thought that because I actually got inspired from what the Egypt coach said, and like he's basically saying they need him for the revenue and stuff. And I just took that theory and made it my own. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one night. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn those notifications on, and I'll see y'all in the next one night. See.